So for the past 9 months, I've been on a relatively strict diet and I haven't cheated once. I can actually tell you the last time that I had a piece of junk food or kind of like fast food, whatever. And it was May 4th, 2024. I had just come from a track and field competition with my school, right? It was the end of the season basically. And me and some of my teammates, my friends, went to Waffle House to have, for me, it was the last kind of like cheat meal that I would have in a while. And we went to Waffle House, so obviously I had a waffle, some eggs, some bacon, I think I had some toast with some freaking like margarine butter on it, bro. Actually, I don't think I had that. I was cheating on my diet, but I was like, I'm not gonna have freaking margarine. Anyways, that was the last time that I cheated on my diet. Was almost a year ago at this point. It was a really long time ago. And so after that day, moving forward, I have stuck to a ketogenic carnivore diet, which basically means zero plants, zero carbohydrates, just eating meat and eggs. So relatively strict, but the diet itself doesn't really matter. I think the fact that I've stuck to it for almost a year now without cheating once is what I want to talk to you about today, because that's something that my younger self really struggled with, was like trying to stick to like a relatively clean diet, but then always having this excuse of like, oh, as long as I hit my macros, as long as I hit my protein goals, like it doesn't really matter if I cheat on my diet. Like, it really wasn't a concept to like continuously eat clean for me. And so that's what I want to share with you today, is just how I stick to my diet, a clean diet, without cheating, without any of that stuff, and how you can as well. Because I think it's one of these past 9 months have been some of the best times of my life, and I think just that underlying solid foundation of, oh yeah, I'm sticking to this diet, like it's easy, I can do this. It gave me confidence in other areas of life, and overall just made my life better. But yeah, anyways, my name is Keegan, and if, like I said, like if you don't know me, my name is Keegan, and I talk about diet and fitness and that sort of thing. So if you want to support me, then check out the links in the description and go subscribe. That's the best way you can support me. So yeah, anyways, this is how I've stuck to my diet for almost a year now without cheating at all. Zero cheat meals, zero, no bites of anything. This is how I done it. I'd say the first thing is I kind of set in stone into my mind that other food is not an option. So I kind of ingrained into my skull, like, okay, I'm eating this thing, nothing else is an option. So if you can imagine someone who, or you can imagine like a dog, right? A dog who gets, like it has like a certain foods they can and can't eat. Like I think we all know you can't really give your dogs chocolate. You can't really give your dogs grapes because that's poisonous to them. They're gonna die, right? You could apply that same sort of thing to something like junk food, right? Or whatever diet that you want to follow, right? Like for me, it's carnivore, right? So I kind of say that to like plants and stuff. I say like that isn't an option for me to consume. It just isn't. Like poison or whatever aside, it's just not an option for me. It's kind of like you just kind of remove it from your menu, if that makes sense. So like imagine your favorite restaurant has some great sandwich that you want to eat, but then they remove that option. Okay. And that's like it's the only restaurant that you can go to. Okay, it's just not an option anymore, so you can't eat it anymore. Like, okay, whatever, I'll just find something else to eat. Right? Does that make sense? I I think I explained that right, but just the food that you don't want to consume, basically, just make it to where it's not an option for you to consume anymore, right? Regardless of, unless you're like absolute, like it's the only thing you could possibly eat in this moment, and you're starving, um, then okay, fine, but just remove it from your options for like 99.99% of the time. It isn't an option. Then you just have to find something else. You just have to eat on diet. Like I think it makes it a lot simpler than, oh, I have to stick to this thing and I can't eat that. It's just like, no, it's not even in existence. It's not even in your viewpoint. You're just kind of got like the blinders on this piece of on these foods specifically, right? So kind of going back to that junk food analogy is like, if you want to quit eating junk food, okay, it just isn't, just make it to where it's not an option anymore, right? Clear it from your head. It's not food to you anymore, right? Like you don't, that isn't you. And so you can tie this into kind of just creating a new identity about yourself. This is how that I've done it, and this is how I'm from what I've learned. This is what I've learned, that this is how you make like change in your life. It's not by following the current operating system of you. You have to basically change your identity, change who you are to the person that doesn't eat that food anymore, right? So if you want to be a healthy person, think about how a healthy person eats, right? They don't eat junk food. They don't eat a ton of weird sugary things. They eat real food, right? So you have to shift your identity to that and start saying things like, I just don't eat that. I eat this. I eat meat and eggs. I don't eat freaking broccoli. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat Pop-Tarts, right? I think that's how you can boil it down to a very simple level, is identity change and make sure it's just not an option, right? So stop buying the junk food, right? Do not have it on your shelves. Do not have it, in case of emergency, or it's like in case, I want a snack. Like, no, if you want to be a healthy person, make it your identity to where the snack is like, I don't know, some like carrots or something. If you want to do that, or just be the kind of person that doesn't even need a snack. Think about that. So I'd say those are the first few things that I've done myself to stick to my diet. It's just, I'm just not the person who eats junk food anymore. I'm an athlete. I'm a healthy person, right? I genuinely believe those things in my mind, in my soul, right? And so I just don't do the actions of an unhealthy person, which would be to eat the junk food and those sorts of things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. The other thing that I'm doing, which kind of ties into this, is I'm locked in. I'm just locked in on my goals. So I have a personal goal I have a couple personal goals, but physically, so basically the thing that will require me to eat well and be healthy, they'll require me to be healthy and eat clean and that sort of thing. It is the 800-meter run. So I'm a track athlete, endurance sort of athlete, and I run the 800-meter for track. I want to win as much as I can. I want to improve. I want to break the school record, maybe. I want to achieve a lot. I have ambitious goals, and that requires me to eat in a certain way. And so this bigger goal that is above me, it just convinces me whenever there is short-term pleasure put in front of me. Something like, I don't know, like a cake, or like the other day my mom made some banana bread, right? Love my mom, and she makes like really good stuff, but I'm just not going to eat that right now. My goals are more important, right? And so as that banana bread was sitting there, I was thinking about it. I smelled it. I was like, that does smell pretty good. Maybe I could have a bit. Wait a minute. Time out. Like that's not conducive to my goals. So I'm not going to have that, right? Even if it would taste good, I have to just think about, okay, what are the downstream side effects of that? And okay, like you could make this argument like, oh, but it's not bad. Like you need to live a little, like, do you understand? Like it, like that excuse just annoys me. Like, sure, maybe it won't. But if you take this to the logical extreme, right? Take this to the logical extreme. One bite of birthday cake won't hurt. But imagine that birthday cake, right? It isn't conducive to your goals. Sure, it's tasty, gives you 3 seconds of pleasure, yet it causes these downstream negative side effects. And let's say you're an Olympian. Who is the fastest man? It's Usain Bolt, right? who's the second fastest man. Someone will say like, oh, it's Justin Gatlin, or was it? I think it was like Tyson Gay. I don't remember. But that's what I'm trying to say is whenever your goals are significant, the degree of difference from what it takes to actually achieve that fully, or from a slightly suboptimal thing, slightly suboptimal outcome, it's a very small margin of error, right? Very small margin. And for me personally, I found that, like if I want to achieve my goals, like there's really no reason why I should cheat at all. Why should I cheat on my diet? There's just really no point in that, right? Maybe you have a different life philosophy. Okay, cool. But I just find that, like just one bite, it also never really is just one bite. Let's be honest. Like I remember I would always make this excuse myself. Oh, I'm just gonna have one cookie. My mom would make cookies, or over the holidays, like my neighbor will gift us this like big tin of cookies, right? I would always say, oh, I'll just have one or two cookies. Not that big a deal, right? But it never ends up that way because the food that you cheat with is literally designed for you to have more. But also, beyond that, what does it say about you whenever you cheat on your diet? What does it say about you? That you're not consistent, that you have to have some sort of pleasure in your life, that you have, let me rephrase that you have to have some sort of instant gratification, that you can't stick to something without having some stimulation. Just think about what that says about you. That's not how I want to live my life, and I don't think that's how you want to live yours. So don't make those excuses. Don't say, "Oh, but I want to live a little," because it's a stupid excuse. It's a very bad excuse, right? Like I get it. If you want to have some tasty thing, right? But just be aware of what it says about you, and that you're not sticking to it. You're not, doing what it takes to achieve your goals. And for me personally, I've just found that whenever you're locked into a bigger goal, this short-term gratification shit doesn't make sense anymore. It's not worth it. So just think about that, and just think about how you could add a bigger goal into your life. It doesn't have to be like me, to where it's like some athletic event. It can be something simple, like you want to be a better parent. You want to be a better, just like a more healthy person, so you can be more present with your friends and family, with your loved ones, right? It can be simple as, I just want to prove to myself that I can stick to something, so I can stick to other things in life, right? Like sticking to your diet is more than just, like the health benefits or whatever. It changes you as a person. Like I was saying with the identity thing. Whenever you stick to something for a long time and you know that you can, it gives you confidence. It gives you the ability to do other things. It gives you the confidence to do other things that are difficult, because it's not easy. It's easy to give in to the comfort and the instant gratification. I think you get what I mean with that. I hope you do. I, ho- I hope this is making an impact. But yeah, moving on. The next thing that I use personally on just how I stick to my diet without cheating is, I personally, like, I just feel better by not cheating on my diet. Just on a clean whole food diet. In my case, just meat and eggs and whatnot. I just feel better, right? Like, and whenever other stuff that's not necessarily on the diet, like maybe I eat some like processed meat that has a little bit of sugar in it, or maybe I have some dairy that has carbs in it or whatever, or some spices slip in. For me, I can feel when that happens, and I can feel like, okay, I just don't feel that good. Like it's just eh. I remember one time, this was before I was on like a super strict diet. I was trying to eat cleaner, but I made this excuse of like, oh, like we're coming home from a game. It's not that big of a deal. So we were coming home from a soccer game. Me and my team were, and I was hungry. All of us were. It was a really long, far away game. We had played. I think it was a double header that day, or yeah, I think it was a double header, or it was just one game that was really late in the day. So we were all tired and hungry, And so we stopped at this gas station. I got 2 protein bars, which are processed foods, right? Call it protein or whatever. It had like processed weird whack shit in it. And I also got this like weird like pulled pork burger thing with like the freaking Wonder Bread bun and whatnot, bro. Just thinking back, like what was I thinking? Um, but yeah, I got that food, and I remember as I got home, my stomach just absolutely hurt super badly because I hadn't been eating, ultra processed food for a while up until that point. Like I was eating like relatively clean food. I wasn't on like a specific diet, but I was just eating less junk food. And I went basically like the entire meal was just junk food. My body was just revolting against me. It was like, "What are you doing? You stupid mofo. What are you doing?" And I just didn't feel that good. And I can say the same now whenever I'm not eating if I'm not like super, kind of regimented about it. I can tell whenever stuff slips in and I just don't feel as good. And so I just feel way better whenever I am sticking to my diet. And so it's like, again, another reason why the instant gratification bullshit doesn't help, right? Like you just feel awful afterwards, right? Like it hurts you in so many ways whenever you try and cheat on your diet. Like you have to understand this, dude. It hurts you so much whenever you cheat on your diet. And it's just not it's not conducive. It's not conducive to your goals. It only tastes good for like 3 seconds and then you feel bad for like a day afterwards. And it also, it puts weight on the other side of the scale saying you aren't a consistent person who can stick to their diet. So it's literally like, was that 4 reasons? It's worse than a trifecta of terrible things that make your life worse. So yeah, I just feel better whenever I just stay strict on my diet. I just feel better. So it's like there's no reason why I should go off it, which makes it easy to stick to it without cheating. And yeah, that keeps you accountable in a way. Is just if you feel bad after eating a certain type of food, then it's like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have that, right? And it's up to you to experiment and see what works for you and what doesn't. But that it's a form of accountability, right? Like, oh, I don't feel as good after eating this thing. Well, there's a reason for that, probably, um, and yeah, but also just in general, advice I would give to myself would be if you can have some form of accountability to, keep you onto your diet, then that's going to help. I mean, and that's kind of the same thing as the bigger goal. Like the bigger goal for me, like I said, the 800-meter, PRing and stuff, that is accountability for me. So just find a way to keep yourself accountable. Like I said, a goal is good. Your family, maybe you're challenging yourself with a friend. Like, okay, I'm going to stick to this diet longer than you. I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm going to lose more weight than you, because that can lead to very dangerous things. But just be like, oh, I'm going to stick to this longer than you. Just have that friendly competition, if you know what I mean, like in a healthy way, right? Don't starve yourself trying to lose more weight than someone else. That's just a dumb idea. But yeah, I think that's it. That's how I stick to my diet without cheating. Really, it's really simple. To me, anyways. I hope I've broken it down effectively to you. It's really just change your identity a little bit. Change your identity to that of a healthy person. Have a big goal that requires you to not cheat, and just understand what it does to you whenever you do cheat. Right? Just understand, because if you want to make that choice to cheat, like, okay, fine, right? That's up to you. And if you're aware of the consequences, then it's better than you not. But just be aware. Just be aware of that. That's what I would say. Just have awareness. But yeah, that's what I got for you today. If you liked what I'm saying, then you should go subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Check out the links in the description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.